Headlines in the international press this Friday. Here's Florence Villeminot with a look at the international press and French press. Hello. We're going to take a look, first of all, of course, at Syria. Tomorrow marks the third anniversary of the beginning of the uprising against Bashar al-Assad.
That's right. Let's start with Sharq al-Awsat. That's a pan-Arab paper that's based in London. It says that on the eve of this third anniversary of the Syrian civil war, it's important to note one thing, and that's that the revolution is dead, with over 140,000 people that have been killed and a third of the population displaced. You can really no longer talk about a revolution. What's happening here is a war or a crisis, but it's certainly not a revolution. La Croix, the French paper, the Christian paper, focuses on one group that's been particularly suffering, and that's children in Syria. And there's a graphic in La Croix that you can see today where it points out some horrible statistics. Over 10,000 children have been killed since the beginning of the conflict. 56% of Syrian children are in need of humanitarian aid, according to La Croix, and 8,000 children have had to leave Syria without their parents. So some pretty horrible statistics in La Croix today. And let's finish up with a cartoon in Al-Quds Al-Arabi, so another pan-Arab paper based in London. And this cartoon is critical of the international community, and you can see a crocodile here crying in reaction to Syria, and of course those are crocodile tears.
Now, the situation in Ukraine, Flo, is also getting a lot of attention in the press today, and this, of course, ahead of Sunday's vote in the Crimea. Just 2 days to go now.
That's right. Let's take a look at Moscow Times. So it's an independent paper based in Moscow that's actually in English, and it actually reports from Crimea, and it says that most residents there seem to have no illusion about the outcome of Sunday's vote. It seems very clear to them that they will indeed become a part of Russia. But this article points out that residents are actually divided about whether or not their daily lives will be better or not under Russia. Now, to quote one of the residents there, most people are in favor of Russia, many are against it, but most don't even understand what's going on. Now, there's a very interesting article in Le Figaro, the French paper, that focuses on an angle that hasn't actually gotten that much attention, and that's the cost of integrating Crimea into Russia. It would cost Moscow a lot of money. According to experts, 20 billion euros. So why would it cost so much? Well, it's because Crimea is a very poor region and has a lot of catching up to do. So Russia would have to finance, for instance, pensions for retirees, as well as investing in a lot of construction of modern infrastructure.
We're going to move on now, Flo, to the missing Malaysia Airlines flight, which continues to hold so much of the world's attention and it remains a big focus for the international press.
Absolutely. The Wall Street Journal today focuses on the latest information that we have, and that's that U.S. regulators suspect that the jet actually may have flown on perhaps up to 4 hours after the contact was lost. So that's the front page of the Wall Street Journal. And they also have a map that shows that given the speed it was flying at, it actually could have continued for an additional 2,200 nautical miles. So you can see this graphic, this map here with this circle that shows that the range that the plane could have flown in is very, very wide indeed. Now, there's another interesting article, this time in the International New York Times, that focuses on Malaysian authorities. They've drawn a lot of criticism for the way they've dealt with this case. And according to this article, well, the crisis has really challenged the country's political culture. Basically, it's exposed the ruling elite to, well, judgment and criticism that they're just not used to. According to the International New York Times, the international eyes are on them and they have nowhere to hide.
And finally, Flo, the French media is picking up on a photo campaign that's coming out to the United States.
That's right. This is a very interesting photo campaign that's been buzzing a little bit on social media. It's a photo project called I Too Am Harvard. And basically, it focuses on what it's like to be black at Harvard today. And students there actually vent their frustration at what it's like to be a student at Harvard. And they hold up a board with certain comments that people have said to them. Basically, they're talking out against discrimination, stereotyping, and racism that they still face today at the, very prestigious university. Let's take a look at some of these photos. There's one photo, for instance, of a young man with headphones on, and on his board it reads, "No, it's not rap." And another young woman, she holds up a board that says, "Having an opinion does not make me an angry black woman." There's that photo there. Now, they're going to make a play into this, and it's interesting to note that it's inspired black students at Oxford University in the UK. They've started their own project that's called I Too Am Oxford.
So something we're likely to hear more about from campuses around the world. Thank you very much indeed, Flo, for a look there at the international and the French press. Time now for a look at the very latest sports news.
In the last 16